Population in South Africa is 90% black, but black people in South Africa only own 4% of privately owned land in the entire country.
I mean, look at all our stuff. It's everything we own. Everything we own. I feel miserable. I have pneumonia. I just got released from the hospital last night.
I was just having a look at Donald Trump's statement and saying South Africa is confiscating land and treating certain classes of people very badly. And if he was referring to poor black people instead of landed white people, then that would be more true, wouldn't it?
I'm tired of all this as just the way it is bullshit. This whole fucking system is garbage. America ain't nothing but a big-ass fucking plantation, man. What the fuck are we doing here? There are days I don't want to be on this earth.
No, because fuck you, America, for making me for making me work 4 fucking jobs. 4 jobs! While I'm in college in rural fucking Tennessee and I can barely pay my own fucking rent.
Of course, we don't support having a refugee policy where we only admit white people. So would you support reinstituting laws in this country to only allow white people to vote?
Senator, I'm going to serve as ambassador to South Africa, and I'm going to focus on that.
Word to my American friends who might be tempted to believe what Donald Trump is saying about South Africa, my home country, where I happen to be right now. Him and Elon Musk are racist twats who have no fucking idea what they're talking about.
Population in South Africa is 90% black, but black people in South Africa only own 4% of privately owned land in the entire country. But somehow Trump is convinced that these 59 white South African refugees deserve to be housed and fed on the taxpayer dollar in the United States because they were being discriminated against in their home country. It makes me so fucking sick to see that in the same week that a 16-year-old girl had her face slammed into the concrete by ICE because she was brought here as a minor into the United States by her parents, that our taxpayer dollars are simultaneously being spent on an expedited refugee process for white people in South Africa, where they only make up 10% of the population, but they own 96% of the fucking land. Are you kidding me? And their justification is that they believe that white people are being genocided in South Africa. So all of a sudden they have a problem with genocide. Meanwhile, the United States is literally funding a genocide in the West Bank. And for the record, that's not even happening in South Africa. It's been disproven and debunked multiple times. And it's just Elon Musk spreading right-wing bullshit, white supremacist bullshit, as usual. That's all this is. It's just white supremacist bullshit all over again. I'm so tired.
I mean, look at all our stuff. It's everything we own. Everything we own. I feel miserable. I have pneumonia. I just got released from the hospital last night. I've been in there for 4 days. I was sicker than a dog before I went. I called the ambulance. They wouldn't take me in. I made my in-law take me 2 days later because I felt like I was dying, literally dying, and I had pneumonia caused from all of the freaking trying to clean this stuff up to get out of here fast enough. That made me sick. It made me sick fast. I just sent my girls to go stay somewhere else so I can freaking try to deal with this and not be upset in front of them. They said they're trying to work with me for housing. I haven't even seen anybody about nothing for housing today. Nobody showed up. Nobody. And now there's a trash service going behind all of this. They just took all the RVs and the cars. They took one of our cars. I couldn't find the key this morning when I went to move it. They took that too. It's like we don't have enough taken from us out here. If we had anything, we wouldn't be here. If we had options, we wouldn't be here. Nobody wants to be out here like this. Because of all the rats out here on the levee, my RV got infested with them. They chewed through all my water lines. They chewed through some of my electrical stuff. They chewed through my heater. So I had to move my kids into this little one temporarily so we could try to fix all the damages. And they didn't tag that one, but then they tagged my other one. I need to go lay down. I'm so sick. So sick. I've been out here all night trying to gather what I can so they won't take everything. Now to explain to my girls that everything's gone again.
I was just having a look at Donald Trump's statement and saying, just leave a couple of things out of it. South Africa is confiscating land and treating certain classes of people very badly. A massive human rights violation at a minimum is happening for all to see. And if he was referring to poor black people instead of landed white people, then that would be more true, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be more true that certain classes of people, i.e. poor black people, are being treated very badly in this country and have been for a very, very long time? And it does amount to a human rights violation for poor black people to be so appallingly treated, first by successive forms of apartheid, and then by the ANC government once it lost its way under Jacob Zuma. But that's not what AfriForum cares about. That's not what Donald Trump cares about.
I'm tired of all this as just the way it is bullshit. This whole fucking system is garbage. America ain't nothing but a big-ass fucking plantation, man. A big-ass fucking plantation. What the fuck are we doing here? There are days I don't want to be on this earth. And I'm not saying I want to unalive myself and nothing like that. But I'm tired, man. It's like, what the fuck is the point of any of this? To work till we 60, 70 years old? Most of us ain't gonna fucking live to see 50. But we gotta work to maybe retire. Man, fuck you and all that bullshit, man. I don't give a fuck about who president, left, right, and all this dumbass shit. I'm tired of this whole fucking game, man. It's a big-ass game. It's a big-ass charade. America is a fucking plantation. I don't give a fuck what nobody got to say about it, man. This shit is exhausting. Like, I don't even want to look for another job. I'm going to walk in there. They going to ask me, why do you even want this job? Bitch, because I need some fucking money to pay the bills that they tell me is important to pay. Get the fuck out of here, man.
No, because fuck you, America, for making me pay, or for making me work 4 fucking jobs, 4 jobs, while I'm in college in rural fucking Tennessee, and I can barely pay my own fucking rent, and I'm taking 19 credit hours on top of those 4 fucking jobs, and I still can't graduate on time, and I still can't graduate early, even though I'm taking 21 credit hours next semester! It's not fucking fair. It's not fucking fair anymore. It's never been fair, not in my lifetime. And will it ever be fair? No, because I'm a woman in America. Oh my God. I just want to live in peace, America. And I will one day. Probably somewhere fucking else. Anyways, look how cute my nails are.
Do you support having a refugee admissions policy in this country that only admits white refugees?
Senator, I don't make that policy.
Well, but it's really important. But I think this is if I were to ask this question of virtually any nominee to be an ambassador prior to this panel, that would be an easy layup answer. No, of course we don't support having a refugee policy where we only admit white people. So why can't you give me your personal view on that?
Because, Senator, I am here to serve America and to do what the president is asking me to do. I'll be following the executive order of February.
Would you support reinstituting laws in this country to only allow white people to vote?
Senator, I'm going to serve as ambassador to South Africa, and I'm going to focus on that.
You will not share your personal views on whether it is right or wrong to reinstitute discriminatory policies in this country to prevent black people from voting?
Senator, my personal views are irrelevant. I am serving here to do what the president is asking me to do in South Africa.
Well, that's just simply not true. The whole reason that you're appearing before this committee is because your personal views, your history is absolutely relevant to your fitness to serve. We wouldn't have this process if your personal views were not relevant. That is pretty stunning that you will not share your views not only on whether we should have a refugee admissions process that is race-based, but you won't share your personal views on whether we should reimpose discriminatory treatment against black Americans. That is absolutely relevant to your qualifications to serve, and your refusal to answer it, I hope, is something that every member of this committee will think about.
I am so tired of feeling helpless as a parent. Yes, my kids are grown adults. My oldest is 28, my youngest is 25. And I thought by teaching them what I learned, which is you work hard, you get a good job, you're going to get the things in life that you need, right? Worked for me. Why wouldn't it work for them? Because it doesn't. Because the world has fucking changed, all right? And now I feel like I see them struggling. And before my generation comes at me, yes, I understand struggling is a part of life. We all struggled. But there's a difference between struggling and drowning, all right? So we struggled and it was tough. But you know what? We made it. We knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel with our struggle. It seems like kids today, no matter how much they struggle, they just get further and further down the water into the drowning point, all right? When I was their age, I was making less than $10 an hour, and I could afford to live on my own. Now you have to be making six-figure salary to get a decent, tiny little place to live. So what the fuck is going on, and how do we help them as parents? I told my son, all you have to do is work hard, go to college, or join the military like I did. He went to college, got his degree, got a full-time job. He moved back in with me right when he graduated from college because he said, hey, Mom, as soon as I get a job, which was within 2 weeks of him getting out of college, maybe take me 2 months and I'll save up enough money for me to move out. Okay, cool. It's been 10 months. He has saved almost every dime and still can't afford to live. Why are one-bedroom studio apartments almost $2,000 a month? Why? Like, I just don't get it. So I don't even think that there's even classes anymore. There used to be, upper class, middle class, lower class. It's literally turning into the ultra wealthy and then everybody else is just poor. Like, that's what is happening. And then I told him, hey, when you turn 25, at least your car insurance will go down. Hell no, he turned 25 and his car insurance went up $150. I tell him, if you need health insurance, get a good job. He has health insurance. He has had a medical emergency this week. Had to go to an emergency room twice. He had to go to the emergency room because he couldn't get anybody to see him with the health insurance that he had, right? So he had to go to an emergency room. Now he's out money for that too. It seems like you can never get ahead. And then my daughter, I told her all you have to do because she wanted to buy her own house. My daughter worked 6 days a week, 12 hours a day to save up enough for this down payment. Finally got this house. She's paying double what I'm paying for my mortgage, but her loan was the same amount. And then her mortgage company, after she's already moved in, said, oh, by the way, we forgot to tell you that you need this type of coverage, which we forgot in the beginning. That's an extra $200 you've been paying a month. And all they see when they come home is they watch social media, kids their age, on lavish vacations with all this money and nothing to do, all these social media influencers, because we value those types of things over hard workers. We will pay them $10,000, but you work 40 hours a week, you can't afford it.
The president has shown support for South African refugees that are coming to the United States next week. Can you talk about what these refugees are fleeing and why this is a priority for the administration?
Well, the president has actually signed an executive order on that matter. My office can get it back to you, Michael. But this group in South Africa has faced racial persecution. In fact, the government there has vowed to take away their farmland that they own. And so the president has talked significantly about this. As for further details on refugee claims and asylum claims, I would defer you to the State Department.
Living in America right now honestly feels like a punishment. You wake up already behind, you go to work just to stay broke, and you watch the cost of everything rise while your paycheck hasn't moved an inch. Groceries are a luxury. Rent, straight up robbery. People are working 2-3 jobs and still have to choose between food or gas. You can't afford to get sick, you cannot afford to rest, and you can't even afford to exist. But they keep on saying the economy is strong. We are out here treading water while billionaires build rockets and corporations raise prices just because they can. And somehow they made us believe it's our fault. It's not. The math stopped adding up years ago. This isn't a country full of lazy people, it's a country full of exhausted ones.
Hey, lovely people, and particularly a quick word to my American friends who might be tempted to believe what Donald Trump is saying about South Africa, my home country, where I happen to be right now. Him and Elon Musk are racist twats who have no fucking idea what they're talking about. Because what they're doing is taking the word of a fringe racist group called AfriForum and other disaffected whites, disgruntled by the end of apartheid, feeling hard done by, and much like the Israelis, victimizing themselves when they are not victims at all. Bitching about how, land redistribution is racist against whites. These are such ignorant provocateurs, and it's going to backfire on them. South Africans' majority, the black majority, and it's a multiracial, multi-tribal society now, only own a tiny proportion of the land versus the size of their population. And while white South Africans make up 7% of the population, more or less, they own about 70% of the decent land. And so the redistribution of land is to address past inequities, and the vast majority of South Africans agree and understand why that's happening and that it's a good thing. It's also under a very strict mechanism. Now, not everyone agrees, of course, with the mechanism, but the principle is what racists like Musk and Trump are railing against here on behalf of a bunch of assholes who equate equality with oppression, because for so many years, decades and decades of the apartheid era, they were the oppressor. And as we know, whenever the oppressor looks at something like equality, it suddenly becomes oppression of him.